direct translation between languages. Good idea or bad idea? So generally speaking, it's an okay idea, meaning it's going to help you get across some of what you want to say, but more often than not, you will bump into some challenges, especially between languages that are not really close to one another, just like we've already said about Hebrew and English. Hebrew is a Semitic language, like Arabic or Aramaic. But English is a Germanic language that also has a lot of Latin influence, which means that if we try to translate directly from one to the other, we're actually going to add some awkwardness or sometimes have weird expressions, or worse, we won't be able to get our message across. We won't be able to say what we want to say. So here's what you can do instead. Just like we're doing when we're learning new words, which means we put them in context and we practice a lot to understand the grand scheme of what we're trying to talk about or trying to understand, the same goes with translations. First, think about what you want to say. Then try to think about the English that you do know in order to say it, and that's probably going to be better than you trying to think about what would be the word that I would use in Hebrew, and then do I know that word in English? Don't go there, right? Don't go there. Focus on what you know and focus on getting what you want across. Here's an example. The difference between respect and honor. For a lot of people, especially Jewish people, we honor the Shabbat. We don't respect the Shabbat. But in Hebrew, the word is the same, lechabed. Lechabed means to respect and also to honor, except in English, to honor and to respect have different roles in the language. Now, we would know that if we read, potentially or theoretically, if we had read 100 different places before where the word honor was mentioned, and we know the context of where or why it's mentioned, and then also the word respect, it would be much more likely for our brain to understand and develop automatically a system that can filter between those two things and decide when to say respect the Shabbat and when to say honor the Shabbat, or something of that nature. There are many examples, but this is just one. So how do we do that? How do we avoid doing that? The practical way is, like I've preached for weeks now, find more content and more context so you can elaborate on your knowledge and retain it as well.